Motors and episode 2 of how we wash a car. This week we're going to be focusing on washing the outside of the car and what products we're using and to do the whole process of decontaminating a car's body. So join us now and we'll go around.
As Matt said, we're going to do a full decontamination of the paintwork of the vehicle today. So step one for a full decon is going to hit it with some citrus pre-wash. It's not AM fallout. What we're using today is Valet Pro citrus pre-wash, just diluted into a spray bottle. You can put this on in a couple of ways. You can use it in the spray bottle like we're doing today, which is probably the most cost effective. You can use a pump sprayer, or you can use a snow foam lance. But obviously with the snow foam lance, there's a lot of wastage, so more concentrated this way, and obviously much better value for money. So all we're going to do is going to spray the whole lower of the car with the citrus pre-wash. And then what that's going to do is going to loosen up it's going to basically degrease the car for us, loosen up any dirt or any hardened dirt, and then we'll jet wash it off, and then we'll talk to you about the next step. Just squirt it on nice and liberally, don't be shy. And if you get a good citrus pre-wash, smells like oranges. Absolute legend. So obviously that's the full car sprayed. As you've seen, I wasn't being shy with it. I've sprayed plenty all over it, and I've used less than half a litre. I know that doesn't look like a litre, but that's a litre bottle. So all over, we'll let that dwell for a little minute, then we'll jet wash it off, ready for the next stage. Obviously what you will have seen me do is jet wash the roof. Obviously there's no citrus on there. So what I've basically done is I've rinsed the whole car ready for the next step, which is laying down a layer of snow foam, which is going to get rid of any more loose contaminants. Obviously the citrus will get rid of the degrease, get rid of the grease and the grime. The snow foam that we're going to use, that'll get rid of all the dried on dirt that's still on there, ready for nice clean paintwork for the contact wash, which will be the last or one of the latest stages. So come on, let's get the snow foam done.
So we've got here a very strong mix of built hamburg auto foam, snow foam. Mix it up pretty much 2 to 1, so it is quite strong, and we're just using the last of what we have because we switched to koshkami. So this should be quite an aggressive, it's an alkaline based snow foam, so it should help shift a lot of the dirt that's in ground there before we do contact. First step of the contact wash is to make it a safe wash. And what that means is making sure that you're not moving the grit around that's on the car or any dirt that's on the car, getting it into your wash mitt and moving it around the paint, because that's going to cause scratches, which is then going to show up as swirl marks in the paint, or deeper if you're too heavy-handed. So you have one bucket for your rinse, so you're rinsing after each panel, so you're not moving the grit around, and that way your wash bucket should stay clean. So you can just go from panel to panel, and the dirt will come off, but it should end up in the rinse bucket. So at the end of the wash, you should end up with dirty water in the rinse bucket, but in theory, be able to go and do another car with that wash solution if you wanted to.
Product.
So for the wash, we're using Koshkami Auto Wash. It's pH neutral, so it's not going to damage the paint or be too aggressive. That's what we use on all the cars in MGM. We've tried various other ones. I do like AN Bubbles as well, and Gion Coatings, one that they do as well. So there's plenty of good shampoos out there. You haven't got to spend a fortune. But the one we're using today is Koshkami. Because I'm a wimp, I've got the sealskin gloves. Highly recommend these to anyone that's washing cars in the winter. Completely waterproof, so your hands stay nice and dry whilst you're washing the car.
And I'm going bareback.
For a lot of people, that'll be it. Dry the car, car's washed now, that's it, done. And to look at from that lens there onto the car now, it looks pretty clean. I'm going to flip over onto the camera in a second and I'll just show you what we're going to eliminate with the next step. So the next step, we're going to get rid of all the tar deposits and any burnt on iron. Obviously, the clear that we're using is predominantly a track car, so it's heavily tarnished in tar, more so than the 2, the 3 or the 4. So the product we're going to use today is Car Pro Tricks, which is a 2-in-1 bug and tar remover as well as an iron fallout remover. So literally we're going to coat the whole car in this, which will probably use the whole bottle. You'll see it react, go purple. We're then going to go over that with a soft cloth, a little bit damp, which will help us agitate and remove any of the stubborn stuff. Jet wash it off, and then the paint will be completely clean at that point. There'll be no contaminants left on it at all. All that's left for us to do at that point, snow foam it, get rid of all the remainder of the tricks, ready to dry, polish, and clay bar, sorry, and then we'll clay bar polish, and then ready to go. So as you can see, the black spot show up lovely on white paint, and that's basically what we're going to try and eliminate next with the tricks. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. You know, as you can see, right low is real bad. Obviously a lot of orange peel iron on there, but the trick should bring all of that out.
So as you can see, the product's starting to react. It's got a nice purpley colour, which tells us there's plenty of iron. As I say, there was going to be a lot on the skirts, but as we zoom out, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, it is reacting pretty much all the way up the vehicle now.
Right, do you get what you're saying?
So obviously we've sprayed it with the iron fallout and the bug and tar. We've given it a wipe, as you've seen, and that's brought them up 100 times better than what it was. There's a lot of the contamination off. Okay, oh, jet wash. So what we're going to do now while the car's still wet is we're going to get the clay bar out, and we are going to hit it with a clay bar, and that should remove all of that and make the paint nice and slick. So that's iron fallout and tar remover on and off. Now what we need to do, I don't know if you can see, we'll obviously left some white residue around. What we need to do now is another snow foam, real quick contact wash just to get rid of all any excess chemicals, and then we're ready to clay bar it to get rid of anything that obviously the tar and the Iron X hasn't got off. So come on, let's give it another wash. Okay, so as I've said, the car's now decontaminated in the sense of it's had all the chemicals that we're going to put on it to take all the iron, the plug and tar, all of that's removed. As you've seen on the little close up there, it's pretty much done. What we're going to do now is we're going to get the clay bar out, hit the car with a clay bar until the paint works lovely and smooth, ready to hit it with the electric polisher and lay down some protection up.
So clay bar we're using today is AM clay. This is retailed about 12 quid, regarded as one of the best clays in the game from AM Details. It's a fine clay that we're using. We're using the car's still wet, so we're going to use that primarily for lubrication. If it dries out, we'll then be using a bit of Maguire's quick detailer just to keep the clay sliding, see what this takes off and what more we need to do before we get the machine out.
So Matt, talk us through what the claying process is.
So basically you want to get your panel wet so that the clay slides. You can just use water. We're using NZXT, which is another Meg's speed detailer, because we ran out of the other one. The AM clay's been around quite a bit of the car, not sure how much the camera can pick that up, but it's has ingrained quite a lot of dirt. So it's basically get the panel wet, let the clay do the work. You don't need to put any weight onto it as such, and just keep going over the same areas if you can see stuff. What I have to remind myself is half of this stuff isn't just tar or crap, it's stone chips. That wasn't. Just keep going over it and you can feel the paint getting cleaner and getting less sticky or gritty. Certain parts of this car were feeling quite gritty, and that's because it's basically lived on a racetrack since I've had it. That's a stone chip, and all it's had is stones flung up it, tar flung up it from cars in front, believe it or not, from me going past cars, which Chris will tell you never happens, but occasionally it does. But it basically picks up a load of shit, and you might even be able to hear that. It's almost gritty to the touch. You can see what that's just taken off there. So just keep going until it comes smooth. You want this smooth because if it's not, when you start machine polishing, you're just going to move crap around and grain it back into the panel. You're also going to potentially ruin your pads, which you want to avoid. Now, I'm by no means a specialist at this, and I actually rang LA Detailing, who has looked after my cars, did the ceramic coating on the M2 and the 4 Series, for some guidance on what to do. So, he said, keep going over it, get off what you can, make sure it's smooth, and if you need to keep going, depending on how dirty the clay is, keep going. Now, this isn't actually that dirty. So, that's all it's taken off.
As you can see, Matt's just drawing the clear now. So what we've done in this episode is we've gone and completely decontaminated the car. So we've bug and tarred and iron X'd the car, get rid of all the contaminants on it. We've clay barred the car and we've washed the car again to get rid of any chemicals that are left on it. So guys, that's the car completely contaminant free. At this stage, if you wanted to, you could leave it, drive it off and crack on. But what we're going to do in the next episode is we're going to get the machine polisher out. We're going to machine polish it, get it completely slick, get all the swirls out, and obviously we're going to protect it as well. Obviously with it being white, the swirls don't show too much, but obviously we're still going to give it a machine, get that paintwork looking as mint as we possibly can, ready for the track season. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and ask any questions down below. Thanks so much.